for the confusion about the link mentors. There was a bit of confusion about who was going to send that out between myself and some other staff members. But anyway, we're all on the assembly now. This morning we've got a real treat. Laura, who is our post-16 counsellor, is going to do a session for you about managing your stress and maintaining your well-being during the upcoming examinations. So I'm just going to share my screen to go straight onto her PowerPoint, and then once I've done that, I'm going to leave her to explain herself in more detail. Right, I'm going to hand straight over to Laura, who will run the rest of the assembly. The assembly is also being recorded, and I'll send it home to your parents. So if you want to revisit it at any point, then let me know. Right, I'll do a couple of notices at the end, so don't end the assembly.
Okay.
Cool.
Morning, everyone. Thanks for that, Miss Green. It's just a few things to go through. I think lots of it you'll know already, but hopefully it's a little bit of a refresher and it might be a little bit useful. I just wanted to start by saying you are amazing. You have got to this point. We are right at the end now. You've done all of year 12 and we are at the very last stretch of year 13, which you know and have been told a million times. But you've done really well to get to this point. There will not have been one student that hasn't had a difficulty in the last couple of years, whether that's a friendship fallout, whether that's with academically or things going on at home. So to get to this point and do with what you've done, you are amazing. It's worth mentioning that it is perfectly normal to be stressed at this time. This is a really big time for you, and you will know already, and this is things that I'm telling you already, but you will know that for a lot of people, their exams will matter and they will want to get really good grades because they're dependent on those grades. So it's okay to feel stressed at this time. It's okay to feel sad or worried or overwhelmed. No feeling or situation is permanent. Come the 28th, 29th of June, you will all be done. You will not have this level of stress that you've got at the moment. You will all be able to get to that point. You will be able to do it. And you will wake up in the morning and go, I don't have to revise. And that's a really nice feeling. So it's just about managing things as much as possible, doing things that you can to make sure that you're taking care of yourself. So I think it's really helpful to break things down in terms of thoughts, feelings and behaviours. So what are your current thoughts at the moment about exams? Is it, I'm really struggling with this, I can't do this, I'm terrified? Is it, I've had enough, I just want to leave, I don't want to do this anymore? Just have a think about how helpful those thoughts may be at the moment. Our thoughts aren't always real, they aren't always accurate. Actually, maybe some of those thoughts aren't helpful for you. Have a think about whether you need to challenge yourself. Have a think about whether you need to be a little bit kinder to yourself. So I was just thinking through, what are the expectations am I feeling? I think every parent I have ever spoken to has said that they are not putting any pressure on their child. Yet it's probably very likely that you are feeling expectations and pressure, not only from yourself, but from those around you. And it's really hard to try and stay as present as possible and just to take some deep breaths and just to remember what the most important thing is for you right now. And actually, we just want all of you to get through this in one piece. I'm going to show you a page in a minute that just goes through ways that you can possibly challenge thoughts that might not be as helpful. And one thing I would really like you to take away from the presentation today is about being kind to yourself. So what would you say to a friend? Usually our internal dialogue is not very friendly, it's not very kind. We'll say to ourselves, you can't do this, it's impossible, you haven't worked hard enough over the next couple of years. You'd never say that to a friend, or I'd like to think that you wouldn't say that to a friend. So what would you say to a friend? You say, it's okay, you're doing really well, you're doing the best you can. That's the most important thing. So just taking that time to be a little bit kinder to yourself, to talk to yourself like you talk to a friend, is really important. I'm also going to show you a page about affirmations. And if I had my way, every single student would do affirmations every morning and every evening, just to really kind of focus on how they're feeling and to be really kind and really positive with what we're saying to ourselves. So you might have seen this slide before, but it's quite a useful one to think about what your possible alternative, more helpful thoughts could be. So we can switch out, I can't do this, to I can only try my best. If I don't succeed, I'll find another way to my goal. I can do this. It's about staying present. It's like, we don't need to do the exams right now. We're not doing them right now. But right now, what's the best thing for you? Is it to spend 30 minutes going over a specific subject? Is it to go for a quick walk? Is it to talk to a friend? Staying really present and saying, I can do this, will hopefully help things to feel a bit easier. But there's lots of comments there that you can have a quick read through about what it might be more helpful to be saying to ourselves. So kind of there's no point in trying. And I've heard that from some students. I haven't done enough over the last 2 years. There's no point in trying. But actually, I will try anyway and not be concerned with the result. I'm going to put myself in the best position so that I'm feeling really calm and really confident going into the exams. It's a list of some affirmations. Obviously, choose your own affirmations. Think about what might be useful for you today to do the most important things and messages that you need to tell yourself. Just have a look through, put them on your phone, put 5 down on your phone that you can take away with you, that you can say every morning and every evening, so that you are feeling really proud, you are feeling really confident, and you are feeling really in control of the situation. So these might be some of the behaviours that you are kind of doing at the moment. It might be that you've got things really sorted. You're in kind of action mode at this point, where it's just revision, 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 getting ready for the last day, and then getting ready to start exams. But it might be that you've kind of employing some coping strategies that aren't as helpful. So some procrastination, some keeping busy, doing everything other than doing revision or kind of focusing on exams. Might be that you're being a bit snappier with family or friends, kind of shutting down, avoiding the situation. But you can control those things. You can make choices that will feel better for you. So basics really matter. You know this already, but actually you need to be getting around 9 hours sleep a night. You need to be making sure you're eating 3 really good meals a day as well as snacks. You need to be doing the things in self-care that are important to you. So for me, I really like to go for a run or go for a walk outside. I need to be outside. I need to listen to music a lot. Those are things that help me. What are the things that are good for you? How can you incorporate those into every day? One of the important things to think about as well is when you go on study leave, you might lose some of that social contact, and you might lose things like walking to school or walking around the school. How are you going to get that little bit of fresh air? How are you going to get that exercise? What control do you have over your day so you can plan out your day so you're putting yourself in the best possible position? So also thinking about your health, thinking about periods, thinking about medication. We can't control if there's going to be a really high pollen count the day you have an exam, but we can control that you've got your and your hay fever medication with you. Thinking about those things is really important, putting yourself in a position where you feel confident. On exam day, have a little think as well about what you want. Every single student I've spoken to about exam day wants something slightly different. So some students want to have a really relaxing evening where they stop revising the night before at 8, they get their clothes out ready, they get their bag packed and they're all ready and they get a really good night's sleep. Others said they wanted to wake up really early. They want to get their last they want to go through their last flashcards. They want to listen to a podcast on the way to school. Think about what's best for you so that you are putting yourself in a great position. With regards to coping strategies, think about if there's anything that you need to stop doing. Do you have responsibilities? Can you drop some shifts at work? Can you take some unpaid leave or annual leave? Can you drop some responsibilities in terms of looking after younger siblings or household chores? Think about things that you can do to maximise your time so you've got time for revision, but also time to look after yourself. Please reach out. It is not too late to speak to teachers or mentors or any of the sixth form staff about something that you are struggling with. We are all here to support you, and that includes once you study leave has started. Please reach out if you are struggling with something, because now is the time to get that support. And have a think as well about support from friends and family. Who are those go-to people that you're going to have contact with, particularly when study leave starts? I think it's easier to be more isolated when study leave starts. So make sure that you're making that contact with family and friends. But I think I'm going to do a presentation later on this evening for parents about how they can support you. But one thing I would say is they're not mind readers. Please communicate exactly what you need. So, for example, one of my children I know would want no fuss at all. I might be allowed to give him a good luck as he left the door, but I wouldn't be able to talk to him any other than that. He would just want to focus. One of my other children would want to get up early, would want me to go through the last couple of bits of revision with him, would want a hug, would want some reassurance. But your parents don't know what you need. So please communicate what you want from them so that they are really clear and they're able to support you. Think about what your day is going to look like, planning things out. Really recommend some phone-free time if that's possible. And as I mentioned earlier, kind of having that time to do some regular breaks, getting some fresh air, getting some exercise will really make a difference. If you're someone who loves the gym, then work out a way that you can have some gym time still. Maybe you reduce the time that you spend there, maybe you go less frequently in the week. But if those things are good for you, try and work out a way that you can do it. I think it's really nice to think about little rewards and bigger rewards. So little rewards might be things like getting yourself doing some really good solid revision and then going downstairs, getting a cup of tea, spending 10 minutes on your phone. Bigger rewards might be you've done some really good couple of days revision. So you're going to meet friends and you're going to go out for dinner. Have a think about what are the things that will keep you motivated? What are the things that will keep you moving forward so that you're not feeling completely overwhelmed and so that you know that things are okay and that you'll be able to manage things. Also, have in your head what you have to look forward to. And I don't know what it is for you, but is it prom? Is it holidays? Is it spending loads of time with friends and family over the summer? Is it the thought of university? Think about what it is you have to look forward to. That's your motivation. You only need to do this for a short period of time. You can do this. You will be able to do it, but you need to be really kind to yourself and really conscious about what behavior you're doing, what things you're doing at the moment. I think it's useful to think about an emergency plan. So I will give you an example. During my A levels, there was something in psychology that I found really difficult to get. I just couldn't get it. I was getting more and more overwhelmed with the situation. So I went downstairs. I had a good cry. I had a hug from my mum. She made me ginger cake and custard. And we sat at the table and worked out a way for me to revise it, what I was struggling with. But just taking that time to recognize how I was feeling, taking a moment to stop, I was able to work out what I needed to do to go forward. When we are overwhelmed and we are anxious and we are stressed, our thinking and our speaking brain don't function. So you need to get that back online by taking a step back, by taking a minute to work out what you need. Another time, I was having a kitchen redone and I had 3 very small children and there was dust everywhere and mess everywhere. And I was trying to cook on the lounge floor there and it just got too much. So I had a good cry, I had a hug from my husband. We ordered Domino's, we put on a film, we got our duvets and we all sat there. And I still remember that feeling of thinking, oh, it's going to be okay, because it will be okay and you will be able to do this. But it's helpful to have a think through about what you're going to do if you get to that point. Maybe you don't need your emergency plan, but it's useful to think about who is the person that I'm going to talk to. Is it a family member? Is it a friend? What are you going to do? Are you going to take the rest of the evening off? Are you going to have a shower? Are you going to get into bed and watch your favourite film? What are the things that you need to do? Box breathing is really, really helpful, and I really like it as a way of regulating your mood. That idea of getting your thinking and speaking brain back online, you can do that by telling your body that you are calm, and you can do that by doing some breathing exercises. So box breathing is that you breathe in through your nose for 4, you hold for 4, and you breathe out through your mouth for 4, and you hold for 4. And if you can do that for a couple of minutes, then it will help your body to feel calmer. And then hopefully you will be able to reach out to someone or make the decisions that you need. Box breathing is also really useful in exams, just before you're going into exam or at the start of the exam. Spending 2 minutes at the start of the exam, breathing so that you're able to put things down on paper that you need to put down on paper is worth it. So just have a think about what you need. If things are feeling more than just the normal stress that you think other people are experiencing, then it's really important that you reach out. So speak to your GP, speak to family members, explain to them that you're finding things really difficult at the moment. Lastly, just keep doing what you're doing. You've got to this point, which means that you're doing really well. Reflect on what you need, and please keep being kind to yourself. Please take care of yourself. This is stressful. When things are stressful, it's important that you take care of yourself and those around you as well, if you can do that. Think about what is good for you. I've talked a lot about different ways of doing that, whether that's exercise, whether that's meeting friends and go for ice cream, and just plan out what it looks like. Revision shouldn't be completely hideous the entire time. Think about how you can do things slightly different. So it might be that you meet friends to do some revision. It might be you go to the library. It might be that you really mix up how you're doing revision during the day. You're doing mind maps, you're using Quizlet, you're doing flashcards, you're doing past papers. Think about how you can break things up so that you can manage your time really well, but also feeling really calm and really confident going to the exams. So next Wednesday, I will do a drop-in again. So I'll be in my usual office, which is downstairs in T Block. Please pop in if you want to go through things. I've got some exam plans that we could go through that might be helpful, but you're doing really well. You are capable of more than you know. Please believe in yourself and all that you are. Know that there's something inside of you that's greater than any obstacle. Just would like to wish you so much luck for your exams. I hope they go really well. I hope everyone has lots of successes, and I hope the future is everything that you want them to be. Okay, thanks very much. Just bear with me a minute and I'll just go and get my screen. Thanks very much.
Hello, everybody. Really sorry, just balancing two different meetings at the same time. Anyway, just a quick reminder about the arrangements for next week. So Friday is your last official day. Thursday is your last day of lessons. So if you want to say bye to your teachers or anything like that, make sure that you've done that in your lessons by Thursday, because you won't have any scheduled lessons on Friday. Friday is fancy dress. You know this, I told you this a good year ago, so hopefully that's not a surprise. But please remember that Friday you are able to wear a fancy dress costume of your choice, but that you need to use an iota of common sense over it. So please don't come in anything really inappropriate, either in terms of being far too revealing for a school, or in terms of being something like just an inappropriate costume. So please just, I'm not going to give you a specific restriction, and actually students in the last couple of years have been really, really good with this. But please, if you're wearing a costume that you think's a bit on the edge, just do a common sense check, because I will have to send you home if you come in anything deeply inappropriate, and that would be rubbish for everyone. You need to be in school by 8:45. And then there'll be some celebration activities taking place throughout the morning. You will have left school by around break time. So if you're planning to book breakfast or brunch or anything, then you'll be off site by about 11:15, 11:30. So that gives you an indication of when to book that for. Other notices, if you have not yet paid your next instalment for the prom, it is on parent pay. Make sure that you have done that. If you want to go to the prom and you've not yet paid your deposit, you can still do that, but please get on with it, because in terms of numbers, we just need to know. And there's info about the yearbooks, and some students have decided to organise a Leavers hoodie as well. So just ask your parents to keep an eye out for that. Final notice, I've had a couple of you asking about your school email addresses. You will have access to your school email addresses until the 31st of August. So if there's anything that you need on your school email address or your school account, please make sure you have downloaded it by the 31st of August. This year we had quite a few students who forgot that and ended up reaching out to try and get access, which IT have said they won't be in a position to give. So make sure that you've downloaded anything you need from your school account by the 31st of August. Right then, that's it from us. I hope you found that session from Laura really, really helpful, and I will, oh, hang on, there's a hand up. Yes, Mrs. Nash.
Hi, Miss Green, sorry, could you just clarify, on the last day, students are in at 8:45. Are we registering them in mentor groups, or do we meet them somewhere else?
So register them in mentor groups and then we'll take them straight on. I'll email you instructions. So
That's
yeah,
great. Thank you.
don't be late, students. Go straight to your mentor room at 8:45. You'll get registered and then the celebration activities will begin. Cool, right, that's it from me, unless there's any further questions. Right, you all have a lovely day and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.